Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field for what I like to call Thanksgiving in October. It's English versus classical, a doubleheader. This one is the girls from the Greater Boston League, no less. And it's senior night, as they're announcing the English seniors ending their career at Lynn English. Juanita Zapata is the first one, with her team setting up an honor guard, if you will. Dick Newton, the AD from English, announcing, and Billy Devon, the AD from classical, will announce the classical ladies.
Number 9, Petra Forchap.
Bazea Forchap. Team presents her with gifts, the honor guard.
Number 14, Kimberly Mayorga.
Kimberly Mayorga. With her family being presented. And her teammates come out, present her and her family with gifts. Again, we wish all these seniors congratulations and good luck, whatever route they take. Jobs, the service, college.
Number 5, the captain of the team,
Angela Martinez, the Bulldog captain. Our family coming out, they got balloons. And they'll get their gifts from their teammates.
Those are your Lynn English
Proud night
soccer.
for the families of these great ladies who are finishing up great careers. And again, we wish them the best of luck, whatever their future brings.
First up, captain, number 18,
Rachel Dana will be the first out for Lynn Classical with her parents. Her father, as we mentioned quite often, is the baseball coach, very successful baseball coach at St. Mary's. She's with her family. Terrific young lady. Three-sport athlete, basketball, softball, pitching and third base, and obviously soccer. They've been here for a while. The first game, Kip Lintec, it ended in a scoreless tie.
number 19,
Started very late.
Diana Lopez.
Diana Lopez, 19. The game started more than a half an hour late. This game was supposed to start at 5:30. This one's going to be almost an hour late. And the boys, classical and English, are playing the next one. So it's going to be a long night here at Manning Field. Gifts, pictures being taken.
Number 21, Sienna McLean.
Sienna McLean. with family members posing for pictures.
Number 7, Paula Perez.
He said number 7, and it's not the number 7 that I have. I don't know who that is. I think he said Paula Perez. That's a different number than I had.
The captain, number 16, Lauren Wilson.
Well, Wilson, they announced her as number 16, but she's actually the goaltender, so she wears a different shirt. Lauren, another three-sport athlete. Her and Rachel Dane on the basketball team helped Classical go 20-0 in the Greater Boston League last year. So she's an outstanding softball player as well. And outstanding in goal. She's back in goal. She was out of the goal for a while because she hurt her hand. And the last couple of games she's been back in. Classical's just going to miss the state tournament. They're 7-9-1. A win tonight would get them 8-9-1.
Let's hear it for the Lynn Glasgow.
And unless they wound up with an uneven number and they have to put somebody in that's under 500, they're going to be just under 500. They lost a tough game yesterday to Revere, and seniors are all getting together now from both teams and congratulating each other. So the senior night, the first of two, the boys will have a senior night as well. And we'll take a couple of minutes and we'll be back with the start of the last soccer game of the season for the English and Classical girls. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the start of the game. We're back and we're underway. As we get started, we mentioned English looking for their first win of the season. Classical looking to get within 1 point of 500. They're 7-9-1. They would have needed 18 points to get into the state tournament and qualify. If they win this one, they'll come up a win shy. They'll be 8-9-1, and they'll look back at that game they just lost last night to Revere 1-0, and they had a ton of chances, and unable to knock it in. English's problem is that they don't have soccer players. The girls play. They put out great effort. They work very hard. But they have trouble communicating. Now Classical walks right in, takes the shot. And Malloy, the goaltender, got a piece of it. It was going to miss the net and be wide. Instead, it's going to give Classical a corner kick. Jessica Gambali is the coach. Classical doing a very nice job. She was kind of coach. I think a couple of years ago, the coach either let go or quit, and she was all of a sudden became the head coach. She was an assistant, and she's taken over, and she's done a very good job. The shot high over the net and out of play off the foot of Classical. So a late start, and it's going to be a very late night here at Manning Field with another game scheduled. Won't start anywhere near 7:15. English will get to kick it away. And again, I answer all those questions when people stop me in the street and say, how come more Lynn teams don't make the state tournament when you only have to play 500? And I say the same thing all the time. When you got 5 high schools in the city and you spread that talent all around, then you send kids to Bishop Fenwick, St. John's Prep. A couple have left to go to prep schools. We had a couple that were playing at Essex Tech. So when you spread that talent around, it's very difficult to put out winning programs year after year. You know, when you have an Everett football team that has one team and they send a lot of people to college and people like their kids to go to college, so they rent a place or move in or jump into the Everett program and helps them build their programs up. Peabody football having a great year, 7-0, one town, one school. So it's difficult. It's not a case of not having the energy, not working hard, not giving it that proverbial 110%. It's just, you get, like for soccer, it's hard to get 11 players who are very good or even good soccer players. Years ago, Stan Bondalevich was winning everything at Swampscott. And people, including my brother, bought a house in Swampscott so my 2 nephews could play football at Swampscott. If you get to know these kids the way I do, I have a great job. I get to watch, talk about, and get to know these young men and young women. She was worried about that ball going off her into the net, but when she picked it up, it was out of bounds in the first place, so she gets to kick it away, Malloy. She's had a terrific year. English hasn't won a game. She's been outstanding in that. She's her first year as a soccer player. And her first year as a soccer player, she's the goaltender. And she's lost some tough games. Glasgow's dominating territorial-wise. They got a couple of shots that didn't get to the net. That one does, and Malloy makes the save. Knocked back. And Glasgow's just keeping it in the English end. The English coach is absent. She's been absent for a couple of weeks. She's a new mother, Abby Driscoll. And we were very happy to announce at the time She had a young daughter, and everybody got through it well, which we're very happy to announce. She's an outstanding young lady. Madison Malaya took over the reins. Abby Driscoll, good athlete, outstanding young lady. And now she's got a young athlete she can start to get ready. A young daughter. And we're, again, so very happy that both came out very well, and the family as well. And again, we wish them the best. English boots it away. And Glasgow takes it right back. Looking to walk in. Broken up, English knocks it away. Glasgow takes it back. So right now, it's just back and forth. Skip past. They finally got it past midfield. And Glasgow knocks it back the other way. Down that far side, looking to walk in. They take the shot. High over the net and out of play. And we'll have substitutions for both teams. 3 for English, 1 for Glasgow. Big night for those seniors as they finally realize the time is winding down. It won't be long when they'll be here at Manning Field getting their certificates, their diplomas. And it starts to sink in when they're playing now their last soccer game here at Manning Field, their last soccer game of their careers, actually. Again, it was Angela Martinez, Juanita Zapata. Bezahita Forchap. And Glasgow gets on the board. And Kimberly Mayorga for Lynn English. We talked about Rachel Dana, one of the seniors, her father, the baseball coach. She banged it home. A little bit of a scrum out in front. The ball went loose, and Rachel Dana just banged it in. So on senior night, senior scores. And she's one of those seniors, along with Diane Lopez, Sienna McLean, Carla Perez, and the goalkeeper, Lauren Wilson, who hasn't seen anybody within 30 yards of her. Glasgow knocks it back upfield. English keeping it to Glasgow in longer than they've had it for quite a while. And now they boot it right out and take it right back to the English end. Looking to take the shot, slices it off to the right and out of play. Substitution for Classical. Popped up. English got a head on it, but knocked it the wrong way. Glasgow trying to center it, pushes it off to the right behind the net and out of play. English boots it away. Classical pushes it back. Trying to throw it in front, skips past everybody. Classical gets it, can't get the shot off. Now they take the shot, and it got blocked again to the near side. And Classical keeps it in. Walking right back. Shot got blocked by Fowler, out of play. Classical will get another corner kick. Bouncing loose, still loose. English trying to kick it away, they finally do. I think that was Martinez. Who's one of the seniors. So it's the Lady Bulldogs against the Lady Rams as the ball gets knocked out. And we'll have a Classical substitution. Blocked. Classical knocks it deep. And it's knocked away. Coming to the near side, pushing it ahead. They give it back. And it got knocked out. That was Escobar looking for the return pass. Nice little crowd here for this Tuesday night, senior night for the two Lynn schools, as I like to call it, Thanksgiving in October. This is really unusual. This is the third time, this being Tuesday, since last Thursday, in 6 days, English has played Classical. This will be the third time. Way back when, in the city tournament, the start of the season, there was a mix-up as to who was playing. Right in the midsection, Malloy makes the save off the kick. I think that was Parker. We got here for the game. English girls were here, and you look across from them, warming up, getting ready to play, were the Classical boys. So they mixed it up, thinking it was the Classical boys and not the Classical girls. So they obviously couldn't play the game because Classical girls couldn't play the Classical boys. So they didn't play the city tournament game. And it took them a while before they were able to reschedule. And it happened to be a day after. Thursday was a scheduled game. And then they moved the game on Friday. They played at Hood Field. So they played Thursday and Friday of last week. And they're back here on Tuesday of this week, as that kick just went wide left, just missed that far post. So Thursday and Friday they played. They had the weekend off. They come back on Tuesday, and here they are again, finishing up the season. Haskell cutting off the pass, knocks it out again. English will kick it away. Haskell trying to get the shot off. It got blocked, deflected. Malloy comes out, puts her knee down, squeezes it, and she'll kick it away. High and short. English got a foot on it. Knocked back downfield. That was Liliana Parker knocking it down. Now it gets knocked out. Waiting to see who they give it to. They're waiting to get a soccer ball back for one thing. It's going to be a corner kick, I think, for Glasgow, coming from the far side. He line drive it out in front, and Malloy stepped right in front. Might have been one of, I don't know if it was a Glasgow player or her own defender. She stepped right out in front and just caught it and kicks it away. She really has done a very nice job in net for somebody who never played soccer before at all. Haskell hustling, keeps it in, gets around. Looking to center it. Glasgow's got it. And the shot goes off the side of the net. They couldn't hook it in. They sliced it out. I think that was Katie Rouse with the shot. It's been all classical. English hasn't come close. They knock it up. I think that was Martinez with the nice defensive play. Angela's had for English, she's had a nice year defensively, along with Hannah Claffey. Mariah Fowler was back there on defense earlier. She was very good too, but then he moved her up to try and come up with some offense. Rouse gets by a couple. Kicks the shot, just a little ground ball. She couldn't get a lot on it. Malloy will field it and kick it away. We're halfway through and counting the scoreless first half. They bang it off Glasgow, and hustling and kicking it downfield was Dana. Glasgow coming back. Still with it. They throw it out in front. That might have been Rouse sitting right in the lap of Malloy waiting to get a piece of that. Malloy grabs it and held on, and she'll kick it away. Bounces by everybody. Fowler picked off the pass, pushing it up, trying to get by. They force her deep. This is the deepest penetration for English in a very long time. And it went out off English. Fowler with a great rush, but they forced her to go very wide and deep and didn't have any chance to get a shot off. I think this is De Leon kicking it away. Escobar with it. Got blocked and knocked out by English. Trying to get around, looking to take the shot. They still with it. Threw it out in front. It deflected off Malloy into the net. Looked like she had the save. Malloy had the save and it skipped right by her into the net. Another senior getting on the board, Sienna McLean. She had it from a tough angle, threw it to the net. It looked like Malloy had made the save, and all of a sudden, it popped loose and went behind and into the net. And Glasgow has a 2-goal lead. Glasgow's going to get called for taking English down. Deflected all the way back. Glasgow knocks it back. Popped up. Escobar knocked it down. English knocks it upfield. Walking around, lead pass, walking in, looking for the shot. Might have gone inside the far post, might have gone out. Malloy grabbed it, a little tap, and she'll kick it away. Glasgow coming back, take another shot. Malloy will make another save. She lost it and then grabbed it back. She had it. She bobbled it. It bounced down. There was a Glasgow player there. I don't know if there was Papazoglou. Papazoglou was the backup goaltender when Lauren Wilson couldn't be in net with her hand. And she did a very good job. So collects the pass. They get it to the near side, looking for the shot. They set it again, and I think it was Matthias that knocked it away. Matthias had also had a very good year defensively. They pop it up, knocked down. Glasgow pops it up again. It bounces by a Glasgow player. Blocked by Fowler. Glasgow takes it away. Shot, blocked. Looking to get a shot off. Getting around, trying to take the shot. Knocked away. I think that was Claffey that knocked it away. And again, he can't get the shot. English takes it away. Fowler with a nice job knocking it loose. English trying to knock it deep. Nobody there but green shirts. And Glasgow takes it right back to the English end. They knock it deep. Glasgow's there to pick it off. Excuse me, English is there to pick it off. And Glasgow right back down that far side. Blocked. They line up the shot. And they knock it home. Just inside that far post from a tough angle. Ariana Martinez makes it 3-0. And with just under 13 minutes left in this one, Glasgow has opened up a 3-0 lead over arch rival English. Three nothing lead for Glasgow as we get back to soccer. And English has not come close. Fowler had a great rush and it went out of bounds deep, and that was it. That's the closest they've come to get it in and keep it in. Parker with a rush had it blocked. Shot from long range. It skipped right through and into the net. Left-footed kick. I talked about it just a minute ago. Mia Papazoglou. She wound up and drilled a left-footed kick, and it just took a very quick bounce right by the goaltender into the far corner. And just like that, it's 4-0. We mentioned she spent some time in net. Lauren Wilson had a hand injury. She could play, but she couldn't be in net, and she played up front. Here's a break again for Glasgow. Shot got blocked. It rolled to the front of the net. It's loose. And they didn't clear it. The defender was there. An English player was there, but didn't put her foot on the ball. They left it there. And luckily for English, Malloy came out and just finally grabbed it. Blocked and knocked out off Glasgow. So Glasgow well on their way to their 8th win. They're going to go 8-9-1 and just miss finishing 500 and getting into the state tournament. And they're probably saying, thank you they're not getting in the state tournament, because who knows where they would have played. With this new format, we mentioned, congratulations, by the way, to the Glasgow girls volleyball team. They have one more game. They're undefeated in the Greater Boston League. They just defeated Chelsea, a game they had to win to outright win the Greater Boston League Championship. So they won it. And God knows where they're going to travel with the new state tournament format. I think it was last year or the year before, the Glasgow team had to go to Cape Cod to play a game after having a great year, and they knocked it in. That's Parker. It sailed high over the head of the goaltender. And Gianna Parker gets in on the goal scoring as she makes it 5-0. She just chipped it right around the 20, maybe just inside the 20-yard line, just chipped it high, and it went over the head of Malloy, who's trying to guard that Grand Canyon. Just slipped under the top crossbar into the back of the net. Fowler broken up. Glasgow knocks it deep again. Martinez got a piece of it. Claffey as well. They knock it away. Long range. Malloy dives and makes the save. It's been a shooting gallery for Glasgow. Lauren Wilson could have bought a ticket for this one in net for Glasgow. Still hard to believe. This game, the English boys game next. St. Mary's plays Archbishop Williams tomorrow, the girls. And the soccer season is over. Where did it go? We'll take a short break and we'll be right back into basketball and hockey. We'll have a couple of, hopefully we'll have one or two tournament games. We don't know. Based on the rankings, we don't know if anybody will get a home game. Haskell knocked it down. They swung and missed trying to get a shot off. Malloy makes the save off a point-blank shot. But Kip boys will make the tournament. I'm assuming Tech boys will make the tournament. St. Mary's boys and St. Mary's girls. And that will be it for soccer. Football, Glasgow has a chance. You never know where the rankings are going to be. They're 5-2. The worst they would be 5-3. But they don't rank that Greater Boston League very high. St. Mary's would have a chance to be in the tournament, but again, doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a home game. Tech boys, English boys will not be in the tournament. They'll finish off the season before Thanksgiving. They'll get to play a couple of games. And those games could be anywhere as well. So we won't know until the rankings come out who's going to be where and who's going to do what. We're hoping we get at least a couple. Laura Wilson is finally going to get to touch the ball. They kicked it back to her so she could kick it away. And that was her own team kicking it back. Martinez breaks it up. And it goes out off Fowler. Substitution for Glasgow as they throw it in. He just picked it up nicely. That was Matthias, I think. Punching it to the net, it cuts, it gets loose. Big time save by Malloy. It bounced loose. Malloy came out. They were almost nose to nose. They drilled it, and Malloy made a tremendous save. Duncan gets by. Still with it. And lost it out of bounds. Papazoglu knocked it to the middle. They knock it deep. And Papazoglu couldn't get a foot on it and keep it in. English will get the throw in. Duncan hustling and gives it back to Wilson, who will kick it away. Boot away. Parker looking to get around, knocks it deep. It skips past everybody. Malloy got a piece of it, and then Malloy jumps on it. Classical got it to the net. Malloy was there. There was a conglomeration of people standing in front of her. She had it. She bobbled it. Classical was there. And before anybody could get a foot on it, she jumped on it. Ortega knocked it to the middle. It got inside the 25-yard line. It hasn't been there before. Other than Fowler's long drive. And now Fowler, from long range, knocks it way wide right. Wilson will come out, play it, and kick it away as we're down to the final 2 minutes of this first half. Blocked, knocked away. It was 0-0 for a while. But Classical has exploded for 5. It's knocked out. English will get to kick it away. They blow the whistle, and that'll do it for the first half. So Lauren Wilson, they're out celebrating Wilson. She only touched the ball a couple of times, and that was from long range. English didn't get anywhere near a shot on net. Classical kept them at bay, and all that pressure by Classical finally paid off as they get a big 5-goal lead. It's 5-0 Classical over English at halftime. We're off and running with the second half here at Manning Field. Glasgow with a big second half of the first half, putting 5 on the board. 5 different scorers. English, as we mentioned, didn't come close to even getting a long-range shot at Lauren Wilson. Glasgow kept it in the English end. Personally, I think I'm being generous when I say 90%. It was probably more than that. Knocked away by Matthias. McLean looking for it. Blocked. Escobar gave it back. Broke it up by Matthias again. I think that's Martinez. Looking to knock it out. It got saved, but then it got knocked out again by English. Senior night here at Manning Field. All the teams having their senior nights here as the season is winding down. Just about over. Knocks it away. Glasgow knocked it out. Again, a long night. The first game started about a half hour late. And then with the presentation of seniors, by the time this one got started, this one was well past a half hour late. Off the post. That's Lauren Wilson. She's now wearing number 16. She was the goaltender. And Mia Papazoglou, who's got a goal in the game, is back in net. She played net and was in the net while Wilson was hurt. Wilson could play. Wilson was first couple of years, I think at least the first year, maybe the first 2, she played up front. And here's Wilson getting a goal on senior night. She's a senior. The goaltender for the first half scores the first goal in the second half. She played up front before, and she gets a big hug from Mia Papazoglou, who is now the goaltender, came all the way down to midfield from the goal. She played up front her first year or 2, and the goaltender that was supposed to be in net all of a sudden left and went to play, and I mean left the area. I think she left the country. And they were hard pressed, and Wilson went in the net and did a tremendous job. And she just carried that over to this year. And she got hurt. Mia Papazoglou had to step in. So she gets a shutout in the first half, and then she comes out and scores a goal in the second half. And we got Rachel Dana, Sienna McLean, and Lauren Wilson. 3 of the 5 seniors scoring goals. So it's 6 for 6. 6 goals, six different scorers. As the ball bounces by and goes out of play. And they're giving Classical a corner kick. Slices away. Classical loses it. They get it. Blocked. Classical keeps it alive. The shot. Skip past, I think it was Martinez, and took a big hop right into the lap of Malloy, who kicks it away. So there's no question Classical is going to get their 8th win to go 8-9-1, and Classical is going to end up with a couple of ties. Not going to taste a win for the season. Classical out in front, got a foot on it and popped it over the net. Fowler trying to keep it away. Classical keeps it in. English breaks it up. Classical lets it go out, and Classical will get a corner kick. They got a foot on it. They knocked it over the net, and it went in under the top crossbar. Liliana Parker keeps it in the family. Gianna got one earlier. So now it's 7 for 7 goals and scorers. Fowler pushing it up. Trying to knock it by. Looking to go get it. Another nice rush by Fowler. She gets broken up. Classical takes it away. And it goes out. English will get the throw in down deep. They haven't been down this far very often. And we'll do it again with the throw in. Pass broken up. Oscar hustles and keeps it in. Oscar pushing it down. Not going to walk in. Throwing it out in front. Big hop. Malloy's there to pick it off. And she'll kick it away. Little shift, they knock it back, they knock it too far. It goes out of play. Glasgow's waiting to make wholesale changes. He's looking to let it go out. And it finally does. Trying to drive it to the net. Went off English and out. And English takes 6 subs. Jessica Campali getting a lot of people playing time on senior night. Whatever they didn't play it right throwing it in. So it goes back to English to throw in. And English knocks it out and Glasgow will get it. Glasgow couldn't get the shot off. English broke it up. English breaks it up and knocks it deep. A little shift by McLean, and McLean got a piece of English. She took London Singh down, and Fowler will get the free kick. Glasgow knocks it back. This little shift went around, but then lost the ball when she went around. McLean trying to center it. Knocked deep. I think they're saying English got a piece of it. It looked like it bounced by English and went out of play. But they're saying she got a piece. And Glasgow's going to get a corner kick. Knocking it down. Glasgow trying to get a control. Out in front. And he hit a rocket. Knocked it out of play. Past the far post. English will get to kick it away. Wilson trying to knock it deep. Claffey knocks it away. Fowler with it. And it goes out of play. tipped, and it's going to go out. And it's going to be another corner kick, I think, for Glasgow. Coming from the far side. Everybody picking a partner, everybody get out in front of the net, waiting for the kick to come. She's taking a long time to kick it away. And she winds up kicking a little ground ball that never made it. Banging out off English. That was a long time for that kid to come, and then she just shanked it. Just pops it up to the top. In the middle, broken up nicely by Matthias. Knocked to the near side, it was out of play. Up by McLean. It's Gianna Parker getting a piece. And here's Matthias knocking away again. Matthias and Claffey. Martinez took a nice job defensively. Now McLean pushes it too far and it goes out of play. Again, a nice little crowd here on senior night. Hanging around with the games being very late. First game was Kip and Tech 0-0. It was 0-0 for quite a while in this one. And then just about midway through the first half, it was Rachel Danny getting the first one and then opened up the floodgates. Glasgow Ants got 5 in the second half of that first half. And they get 2 quick ones here in the second half. And that's where we are, 7-0 Glasgow. Matthias again knocks it away. But the game, it almost looks like your TV set, like the field is tilted. Because that's the only time the ball gets in the other end. When they kick it deep, and then this time Glasgow got a head on it but knocked it the wrong way. And that's the only time the ball winds up in the other end. English had, I think, 1 throw-in. Otherwise, it's been all Glasgow through the entire game in the English end. Wilson broke it up. There's Matthias again getting a foot on it. Glasgow's defense and Glasgow goalies the first half, Lauren Wilson. Second half, Mia Papazoglou haven't really had to do much to keep English off the board. rare times English gets a throw-in in front of their own bench. And Glasgow very quickly knocks it away. They pop it up, and Papazoglu is going to come out and get it way out of the net, way off to the right side, and boots it away. And that's the only way that Wilson or Papazoglu and net have been able to touch the ball. Things coming from long range. I thought somebody was setting off firecrackers. It was the balloons that they brought for senior, and a couple of them blew away and they lit up as Malloy slides out and grabs it. And we're past the halfway mark of the second half. And Glasgow knocks it out. Pops up by Matthias again. She's playing very well defensively. Glasgow keeps it in, and they knock it out into the Glasgow bench area. Oh, it looked like Glasgow got a hand on it, tipped it into the English bench, and they did. So English going to get a free kick. I think this is the first free kick either team has gotten. McLean takes it around, gets around again, just kept it in. Coming down the far side, slips it out in front, and there's Matthias stepping in front and knocking it away. McLean with it again. Gets around the defender, out in front. Blocked again, this time by Martinez. Swinging and missing with Forchap. Glasgow knocked it out as we get substitutions again for both teams. English has had a tough season. They've had some injuries. They had some problems. They've lost some tough games. Their main problem is they just haven't been able, like tonight, haven't been able to really generate any offense or any consistent offense. As I mentioned, this is not a career for these girls. These girls are not lifetime soccer players. They play to have fun. They play to represent their school, play with their friends. And after tonight, I don't know if there'll be anybody on this field when they take these uniforms off who will ever play soccer again. We've got the Lauren Wilsons and Rachel Danas, who are basketball, softball players. Looking forward to those seasons as it goes out of play. He is keeping it in. Glasgow now knocks it back deep. Broken up by Perez. They blew the whistle for some reason out, calling him offside. Also trying to throw it in front. English knocks it away. Can't get the shot off. They knock it back. Wilson's pass is picked off. Glasgow gets it back. Trying to kick it ahead was Martinez. Wilson pops it up. Goes out off Glasgow. English knocks it deep, but there's nobody back there. Glasgow gets it up. Rouse with it. Gets it to the middle. Wilson with it. Try to knock it to the far side. Coffey with the nice defensive play knocks it away. Matias with a nice defensive play. And then Martinez knocks it away. Glasgow keeping it in. It's going to go out of play off Glasgow. Ten minutes and counting left in this one. It's been over for a while. They went 0-0 for most of the first half, and then Glasgow got it going. Through the last half of the first half, Glasgow put 5 on the board as Martinez knocks it away. Broken up, and it goes out. I think that was Claffey breaking it up. Claffey and Martinez and Matias having to do a lot of work defensively out in front of the net. Fowler with it. Can't get around. Tried to knock it up. It got blocked by McLean and knocked out of play. Glasgow knocks it out. English will get it. Throw in down deep. They haven't been down this deep with a throw in a very long time, if at all. It's been total domination by Glasgow. Took them a while to get through that defense, but when they did, they poured it on. They kick it up. Parker with it, kicks it up, and kicks it out. Zapata, one of the seniors, put it in play. Here's Martinez kicking it away. Zapata knocks it deeper. And it goes out off Glasgow. Perez put it in play. Fowler broken up. Zapata tipped it. There's Martinez back there playing defense, knocking it away. Matias knocks it deep, and it's going to go out off English. Now it goes out off English. Glasgow's just content to kick it upfield. So it's going to be an enjoyable night for the Glasgow Rams as they're going to beat arch rival Lynn English. They try to knock it deep. Claffey knocks it away. They knock it deep. Malloy will come way out of the net, pick it off, and kick it away. Off McLean's head. Actually, I think it's Rouse. English knocks it very deep, and it's going to let it go. It's going to go out of play off English. We're down to the last 5 minutes. The clock will be kept by the officials down on the field. And I'm not sure what they're doing now. I don't believe they ended it. I believe this can't be you can't have it. They can't be taking a timeout. This would be silly in the last 5 minutes to take a timeout in a 7-0 game. I don't know what that was all about. Everybody went to the bench. We're already deep in the hole time-wise on the night. Why? This is kind of crazy. They stopped the clock. I don't know why. It makes no sense to take a timeout here, but that's what they were doing. They made a very quick one. Lauren Wilson is going back in net to finish up her senior year. Her career as a soccer player at Classical. And Papazoglu, I believe, who was her replacement, is taking the kick. That's got to be the silliest thing I ever saw. They went to the bench. The official said, no, go back out on the field. They went back out on the field. Lauren Wilson gave it to Papazoglu. She kicked it away, and they blew the whistle, and that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Why we just went through that to have Classical just kick it away is beyond me. Classical's going to go to 8-9-1. English is going to end up winless, but not through lack of effort and energy. They worked hard. They did the best they could all year long. They lost some tough games. Malloy had some big games in net. Martinez and Claffey and Matias had some outstanding defensive efforts all year. And congratulations to the seniors, Angela Martinez, Juanita Zapata, Petra Forchap, Kimberly Mayorga from English, Rachel Dana, Diana Lopez, Sienna McLean, Carla Perez, Lauren Wilson for Link Classical. Three of those seniors, Rachel Dana, Sienna McLean, and Lauren Wilson, all got goals. Ariana Martinez, Mia Papazoglu, Gianna Parker, and then keeping in the family, Liliana Parker. Glasgow broke a 0-0 tie midway through the first half. Scored a big 5 to take a 5-0 lead at halftime. They got 2 more in the second half, and Jessica Gambale was able to play a host of players and get a lot of people playing time in what is the last soccer game for a lot of these young ladies, especially those 4 seniors. So congratulations to the seniors again. We wish them well in their future endeavors. It's been fun watching them play, and we'll get to see at least a couple of them, like Lauren Wilson and Rachel Dana, probably others, in basketball and softball. So congratulations to all the seniors again. Congratulations to Classical. They just missed. They're going to get 1 point shy of making the state tournament as they go 8-9-1 with a big 7-0 win over arch rival. And we always talk about, if you're going to win one game, this is the game to win, English and Classical. And they get 3 wins in about 5 days, the way the schedule fell in. So Classical sweeps English. They do it tonight with a big 7-0 win. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.